Matthew Stafford against his former team. Jared Goff against his former team. It's the Rams at the Lions Sunday night as part of the NFL's Super Wildcard weekend. Oddsmakers have the Lions currently as 3-point favorites with a total of 51.5. Really haven't seen much movement on either number so far, so how should you bet this game? I've got the answer for you coming up in just a moment, and a ton of useful betting trends to back up my play. Oh, by the way, I am Brian Power of WagerTalk.com, and let's now take a look at Rams-Lions. We start with the fact that Detroit has lost 9 consecutive playoff games going back to 1992. This will be just the 5th time since 1960 that the Lions are favored to win a playoff game. They've lost 3 of the previous 4 outright. The last time they won and covered as a playoff favorite was the 1992 divisional round, 38-6 at home versus Dallas. That was the year before the Cowboys took over the league. It is also the last time the Lions won a playoff game of any kind. Much of that, though, ancient history, obviously. In fact, the last time the Lions went off as a favorite in a playoff game was 1995, the second longest drought in the league between times being favored in the playoffs. Interestingly enough, the team that had the longest drought of not being favored to win a playoff game is Cleveland, and they will also see that snapped this weekend because the Browns are favored at Houston on Saturday. Very rare to see the Browns and Lions both favored in the playoffs on the same weekend, no less. Now, the Lions have played just 3 playoff games over the last 20 years. They've lost all of them by an average of nearly 2 touchdowns per game. But their last home playoff game, again, we're talking a lot of ancient history here. The last home playoff game was 1994. So you should expect a raucous atmosphere in the Motor City on Sunday night. Maybe the happiest person to have this game in Detroit is quarterback Jared Goff. More specifically, Goff's probably just happy to be indoors because he has just been a much different quarterback in his career indoors versus outdoors. Over the last 3 seasons, Goff 25-8 against the number indoors, including 13-6 here at home. Quite a few indoor road games, I suppose, during that stretch. Now, this is not the first time Goff and Stafford are facing their former teams. Back in 2021, Stafford led the Rams, his new team, to a victory, 28-19 over his old team, but that was a much different and worse Lions team back then. At the time, Detroit was in the midst of an 0-10-1 start to the season. Yes, 1 tie. They were 16.5-point road underdogs in that 2021 meeting. This time, obviously, as I mentioned at the top, the Lions are the favorite. And historically speaking, that's not good for Stafford, especially with this game taking place in prime time. As an underdog at night, Stafford just 4-17 straight up, 7-13-1 against the spread. That is the second worst ATS mark among qualifying quarterbacks during that time in night games as an underdog. My view of this game, given how hard Detroit has worked to get a home playoff game, how fired up this crowd figures to be, I cannot see them losing. I do have concerns about the Lions' pass defense trying to stop Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, the Rams' 2 excellent wide receivers. But in the end, I expect the Lions to outscore the Rams in this one and cover the spread. Yes, LA enters the playoffs having won 7 of the last 8 games straight up. The only loss in that stretch, OT at Baltimore on a punt return. The last time the Rams lost a game with Stafford starting at quarterback was October 29th, if you can believe it. But at 35-16 against the spread since the start of the 2021 season, the Lions are the 5th most profitable. They own the 5th most profitable run in the league over a 3-year span since 2010. So just I feel I jumbled that up a little bit. The Lions, the last 3 seasons, 35-16 ATS overall. That is the 5th most profitable 3-year span since 2010 in the league. Goff indoors, Stafford as an underdog in prime time. I'll throw in the X factor of the Rams' poor special teams. Remember what I just said a minute ago? Their only loss the last 7 games came because they allowed a punt return to the Ravens. They've got bad special teams. The third phase could be the deciding factor here. Add it all up, I believe we're getting a Lions win and cover Sunday night. Pardon me. Let me know which side you're going to be betting on Sunday night down in the comments section below. And while you're at it, feel free to smash that like button and subscribe to the Wager Talk YouTube channel. That way you don't miss any of our exclusive sports betting content. If you're looking for more winning picks, head on over to my page, wt.buzz/BP, as I'm going to have a loaded wildcard slate this weekend. Might be around 5 plays is what I think we're going to be looking at. I ended the regular season on a 68% run with NFL plays rated 4% or higher, including a perfect 3-0 with 5% releases. You may recall last Saturday where I had the Texans over the Colts. You can find me on Twitter at BrianPower_wins. Now, for your next NFL wildcard game preview, all you have to do is go ahead, click this next video.